wiped out and all that shit. The kids are in their early 20s, mid 20s, and they hate each other.
That's Generation X does that. Millennials are like, you had a baby, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Oh, really? Millennials just bail?
Well, yeah. Millennials at
because they
any
can't even
age.
take care of themselves.
Exactly.
But no, back then. Are we live?
Yeah, now we're.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Sucka? We're back, man. Shit. Luckily, we're back, Josh. Shit. Fucking luckily, man. What's up, Sucka podcast? We had to take a little fucking unforeseen break.
Well, nobody really noticed because we had episodes already.
Yeah, so. I know, but you know, I like to be real with my fucking 3 listeners and be like, you know, the ones that didn't call me to say what happened, but you know, I had caught Rona, and at a show I did. I'm gonna say, I think it was the show that we did.
You had Corona? I had no idea. Get out of the studio.
Yeah, no, but I got over it. Tested negative. But yeah, man, I think it was the show we had at Jokesters on my buddy Robert Silva's 54th birthday party, and so it was a good gathering. And you know, I'll be one of the first to admit it. Everyone's gotten relaxed, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean the Delta variant hit pretty quick. You know what I mean? Like it did. People thought finally it's done. It's been over a year. And then, Oscar De La Hoya hit Oscar De La Hoya, and he's vaccinated. So
he wears a dress. Like
it wasn't a dress; it was stockings.
Stockings. I mean, I thought that prevented that certain variants, but you know, that's crazy. Yeah, because like we're lucky we had AIDS. There was no Liberace variant. You had fabulous cases.
All I heard first, we're lucky we had AIDS.
Yeah,
we're lucky we had AIDS.
We had AIDS. So, I mean, from the 80s, I mean, really, we had just AIDS. You know, that was it. There was
nothing before AIDS.
Liberace variant.
Wasn't gonorrhea
went all fabulous.
Something killing people?
I don't think syphilis. Syphilis killed people. Gonorrhea just fucks up your date, I guess. Yeah. But I don't think like that's.
You could still go on the date.
You could still go out. Yeah. It's like it burns when I pee. But I guess, dude, I've never caught that shit. But I know a few people that have. I mean, it was nothing. I guess they went and got.
I don't know anybody who's ever caught an STD.
Oh, you lying?
No. Everybody tells me that same thing. I've never had it. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on.
No.
I've never even heard of STD.
I remember a real close person to me, not me, I'm not saying, had caught
this girl I was with.
Said when he was in college, that proves right there it's not me. When he was off in college, that he had caught, what's that one that like it's real simple to get, chlamydia.
Oh, I was going to say yeast infection.
No, it's almost like a yeast infection, I guess, because he said they'd give you a pill, I think, and he goes, but everyone would catch it from the same girl. He'd be like, the same girl we knew, everyone was going, I'm taking so-and-so, and they were like, watch out, you better use it. And then
get your penicillin shot.
And he goes, everyone caught
But
chlamydia.
This is the 80s. This is the 80s, so nobody's using condoms at this time, correct?
I think it was the 90s, late 80s and early 90s.
Because condoms didn't come into play until like 1990, 91. When TLC was singing about it.
Condoms were in play before that, dude.
But I'm saying as far as culturally, like, oh, you don't use a condom? What the fuck is wrong with you, you know?
Well, because let me tell you, AIDS, like, okay, everyone became aware of what AIDS was when Eazy-E died.
Mm-hmm. And what's his name from Queen, too?
And Queen, Freddie Mercury. When they got diagnosed and AIDS was like, oh, my God.
And then Magic Johnson.
What is this? No, but he didn't die, you know? He didn't.
But people thought he was going to die, and it was a big deal because Karl Malone didn't want to play with him.
When they actually died, though, but I mean, but not only that, there was a dude that I went to high school with, and, you know, hey, this was high school, bro. I'll say his name. His name was Raul Villegas. No, I think it was Raul Villegas. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But he would dress up like Madonna in high school. I think he was a year younger. I was class of 87. I think he was class of 88. If anyone knows this later on, you see me.
If you used to dress like Madonna, you know the guy.
Yeah, no. And this other guy, Raul, used to dress up like Madonna at this club called Trippers. It was a teen club back then on West Avenue in La Monda.
So he was a teenager dressing up as a woman and going to...
Like we were... 17, we were 17, 18. No, and he would dress up. He looked like Madonna, bro.
Did he identify as a woman?
As a joto. No, I think he was just a joto. He didn't act like, he didn't say
or
he was a woman. Or he could have just
really loved Madonna.
Are you going to fucking let me tell you this fucking... I don't know, maybe... I'm sure he did love Madonna to dress up like Madonna.
As Madonna?
Probably...
Okay, well then, yeah.
money. but because somehow he died of AIDS. Like that was the first, like you would see like Freddie Mercury got it, and then
but somebody you know,
this dude went to high school with it, but he was a flamer. Like he dressed up like Madonna with no shame. And he would win these Madonna lip sync contests.
Like you said, he looked like Madonna, so he should have done that.
But you know, the dude was good at doing that, whatever. But he died of AIDS right after graduation. Like he graduated in '88, I think. In like '89, he died. He was dead, or in late '88, he died. And I remember going, wow, everyone that went, did you hear about Raul? He died of AIDS. So that whole time we knew him, he was dying of AIDS.
Now, did he die of like what they gave him to try to
I have no idea. All I just heard one day he was dead.
Have you ever seen Dallas Buyers Club?
Yes.
Where they gave him that medicine, and then Matthew McConaughey ends up going to Mexico so you can try to save their lives.
It wasn't all that glamorous, dude. All it was, here, dude, Raul died of AIDS. Yeah. That's it. No one knew any investigation or anything. There was no social media for it to spread and everyone going, wow, I know so-and-so that knew him. If you bumped into someone...
So were you fearful of AIDS at this time?
No.
Oh, so AIDS was like, that gay people get AIDS.
Pretty much.
People, that's what you were thinking.
It was like pretty much the gay people were getting AIDS.
Yeah.
Gay dudes.
Yeah.
I guess you didn't hear about gay chicks dying of AIDS. I don't know.
You know what? We brought that up last podcast. I don't know what percentage it is, but I believe it's probably a low percentage of lesbians that die from AIDS.
But yeah, I think where they were getting is from sharing needles, being drug addicts. Probably they were, shooting up at that time and sharing a needle, and then that's how they caught.
Is that
because then that was the next way to get it? It was either you were gay or you were intravenous drug addict.
Yeah.
In the 80s, and people got, but you didn't really know anyone. The bomb didn't land in your backyard.
What do you mean the bomb didn't land
like it is now? Like, remember the first round of Corona?
Yeah.
When we went to lockdown, everyone, you'd talk to people and you go, do you know someone that got it? I don't know anyone that got it. I don't know. And
it was all in New York.
You would be like, my friend's cousin who lives in Mississippi had gone on vacation to New York and they said that they're at home sick right now. But as far as anything else, no. And you're like, yeah. And then the second round came. And then it was like, well, did you hear Jimmy, who went to school with us, got it?
This is the second round now.
This is the third round.
This is the third round.
This is the third round. And then the second round wasn't so bad. I mean, because they were already giving vaccinations.
Yeah.
And then also this Delta variant is like the third round.
Yeah.
And
Delta variant, no fucking joke.
Now I'm knowing people. My girlfriend's boss, his sister passed away. And my buddy, man, my buddy Vernon Allen Reyes, my bro, man, one of my best friends, he caught it. We caught it that night at the same time at the show. I guess it was at the show at Jokesters over a month ago. And, we got relaxed over there. And I guess, like they say, this variant is so much stronger because I'm fully vaccinated. So I got relaxed, I guess, I had a lot of old friends show up and were all first time seeing me. Yeah. They were there all excited. It was another buddy's birthday. Everyone was happy to just be out, dude. It was almost like it was over and we're celebrating that we can do this again. Yeah. And everyone got so relaxed, and like 8 people caught it that next Wednesday. All of a sudden I started hearing, I woke up with chills going, fuck.
Yeah.
I had a rough night, but that was it. That was the worst day, the first day.
Yeah.
After that, I was getting better. Like I felt it, because my sinuses were fucked up the first night. Like, one nostril was clogged. I couldn't breathe all night, and I kept getting up with the chills. And so the next day, I was like, well, I think we got it. And I had it like through that day, but then my sinuses cleared. And then I was still smoking weed.
Yeah.
But because I thought I'm good. And then I messaged my cousin. He's a doctor in Mexico and worked on the Corona task force when it first came out in Mexico. So I messaged him and I said,
were they giving everybody ivermectin?
Ivermectin?
Ivermectin in Mexico
I don't
City?
know. I just asked him yesterday, though, what he knows about, what does he think about ivermectin? And he said, so far from what we know, it's good for you.
Okay.
Not
the dewormer at the feed store, but from a doctor.
That one.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about the feed store one. I just found out about ivermectin the other day from some tattoo artists. But I didn't know that that you could buy it at the feed store.
Yeah, there's an ivermectin that's a dewormer.
Just straight dewormer
for horses. And then people are taking the dewormer, and then there's another one.
I think it says on the bottle though, for human consumption, still is okay for human consumption.
Yeah, because the other ivermectin is actually for you get lice. You get piojos, and it's been around since the 70s.
Okay, well, I just heard about that. I didn't know if maybe my friend Vernon could have taken that and that would have saved him. But it's crazy that supposedly Joe Rogan took that and he got well in like 4 days or something like that.
From my own experience, taking it when I was sick, it helped with breathing. I don't know what it would have done with anything else.
When you were sick, with what?
When I was sick with COVID.
Okay, you caught it too.
Yeah, I caught it too.
It's out there. We both had caught COVID.
Yeah,
and that's why we had to shut down.
Yeah,
but this shit is real, motherfuckers. So anyone that's saying it's a hoax, just don't believe that. This shit is real. I lost one of my brothers to this.
Yeah.
Josh was fucking hurting.
Yeah. Well,
Josh scared me for a minute.
The first 4 days, same thing, fever and everything.
For 4 days, so you went through
I had fever for 9 days.
And the chills and all that?
No, I wasn't getting the chills at the end, but I did have like 199.5.
I only did that the first day, but the fever, I had the fever, but you were taking your temperature all the time though, right?
I was taking my temperature. I was taking the ivermectin stuff, and then I ran out, and the day that I ran out, the very next day, I started having trouble breathing, and I couldn't sleep. I had to sleep in like the chair with my feet up on the desk, because if I turned, my hands would turn blue. I just couldn't get I couldn't get oxygen. It's like breathing. I've said it before. It's breathing underwater with a straw. You know what I mean? And then sometimes the straw is fully open and you can breathe better. And then other times it's like somebody squeezed the shit out of that straw and you gotta breathe through that. There was a 14-hour period where it was just like I'm sitting up, just going. Then I hold it and I blow it out, right? And I kept doing that 14 hours. It was like somebody putting a gun in your head and saying, run. You can't stop. And you gotta keep going and going and going. And then going outside and just walking around a tree and back and forth and sitting and letting the sun hit me. And I mean, all that combined help, but I can completely see where it's just like how quickly it can go. No, your body's gonna turn against you. You know what I mean? And it does, and it's even for fucking healthy people. Like Oscar De La Hoya is a healthy dude.
Yeah,
he's
in the hospital or something with it?
Yeah, he's in the hospital.
Like, what is he having complications breathing or some shit? Is that
yes, yeah, that was one of the things that he had. And then, like now, my wife also makes me take Bayer every day.
Bayer aspirin?
Yeah, she's afraid I'm gonna have
clots.
Yeah, blood clots.
So
it's
for blood thinning. Anyone who wonders, what does Bayer aspirin have to do with it? Well, because they make it in Bexar County.
They're a sponsor. Is what it is.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, and I hope that if that ivermectin shit is saving people's lives, that they can
they were giving it in Mexico. They were giving it in Mexico.
This isn't Mexico, though. The government here, these motherfuckers, with all this fucking controversy that's going on, and no one wants to take the vaccine because of blah, blah, blah. But you put that FDA-approved cocaine up your nose, fucking all your fucking lives that I've seen. But I'm just saying, you would look a whole lot better if you go, hey, man, we're hearing that ivermectin's saving people's lives. We're going to start.
But not only that, the other one, the cocktail that they have, I forgot what it's called.
I don't know, but it's some cocktail.
Yeah.
The monoclonal IV?
Yeah, there you go. And they tell you a whole thing, like, this is not FDA approved, da-da-da. But when you're sick, like, my thought process was like, I don't give a fuck. Put it in me.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to feel better because this is day 9 with a fever. You know what I mean? So I'm just like,
yeah, you're not gonna be hold on before you put that IV on me, and I go out just fucking. Yeah. I want to know if the FDA approved it. Fuck
I don't give a shit. But now I gotta wait till late November, early December to get
shot.
A shot, any shot.
Yeah.
Vaccinated.
What? So you weren't vaccinated, for people that are wondering.
No,
you weren't. See, I'm fully vaccinated because I'm not a piece of shit. Like, nah. I'm just kidding.
That's the way I felt. You know what? There was probably times I should have gone to the hospital way before. Like on Friday or Saturday, and I didn't.
Yeah, you woke me up one morning to rush you to the hospital. I was like, man, I told him to get vaccinated. I'm not going.
But he brought me, what is the cucumber Gatorade?
Fucking Gatorade.
And that helped out a lot. So if you get it, cucumber Gatorade.
And bananas.
Bananas.
Right here next to the Thirsty Turtle convenience store.
I lost like, I gained 4 pounds back already, but I had lost like 14 pounds.
Really?
Because I didn't want to eat.
Yeah, you don't want to. I lost some weight too. I'm skinny already, but what I did, since I only had like the chills the first day, I know I was hot. Veronica kept telling me you're burning up.
Yeah.
You're like your body, you're hot. You're just all this heat was coming off of me, but I didn't feel like I had a fever.
Yeah.
So all day long I kept thinking I'm gonna lose taste and smell, and that's when it's because Veronica's I lost taste and smell, and she's fucking with the chills and all that still, and I'm drinking tea, going, I can still taste it, like fuck, I can still tell this is tea. So
but were your taste buds off?
A little bit, yes, but only because the sinuses had gotten so off that I was like, that's what it, you know how that hadn't fully.
It's changed my taste buds. Like everything is too salty and too sugary now.
Really? Yeah, it's too extreme too.
Yeah. Like I got a fountain drink, a Dr. Pepper, and I took a sip, and I was like fuck
too
this.
much.
What is this? I had a bacon and egg
drink unsweet tea.
Taco. Unsweet tea and a bacon egg taco. Too salty. I was like, so my taste buds completely changed.
Yeah, Veronica's hers like that too, but mine, it did get a little weird where I did after a while. I noticed I wasn't smelling anything, but I was still tasting everything because I kept drinking tea, going, I could taste this is tea, and I would taste other stuff and go, yes, that's Big Red, and this is punch, and I was like, huh, and I'd eat, and I was still eating, and then so. I kept making sure Veronica ate. I was like, okay, because she was like, I don't want to eat, but I know I didn't really want to eat either. But I went and bought a bunch of snackable shit.
Yeah,
because you don't want to make a meal. Like if there was a buffet in front of me, I would have started eating. But if I had to put any effort into getting that's
how
tired
to eat, you were.
I went like, I can wait. I wasn't that tired, but I could feel the stomach. I could feel my backbone starting to get digested by my stomach and shit, dude. And I was just like, I can make it till tomorrow morning. Like I was still like that. Like I was like, why am I not getting up to eat?
Yeah.
You know, but I wasn't down. I just didn't have any fucking motivation. And I
was lucky. I had a servant known as my wife.
Yeah. That's good. But see, I was taking care of Veronica.
Yeah.
So, but I had a lot of stuff. Mike, I buy a lot of stuff because.
So between the two of you, who would you say is a bigger baby when they're sick?
Oh, Veronica definitely is a horrible sick person, bro. Yeah. When she got the second shot, she was worse than this.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck did y'all give her? This turned her into a bitch, bro. Like she was like, just miserable, dude. Yeah. And she's a
man. I'm lucky. My wife is like, I'm gonna go die by myself in the corner. And I was open the door and be like, water? You need? Oh, you're good. Okay, and I'll close the door.
Yeah. This one. She's negative, like, I'm hungry, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get you, I don't want that, I don't want that either, I can't taste anything, you know what, never mind, I'm just not going to eat, and then she's getting all mad, and I'm like, you need to eat.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit here just getting weaker and weaker and angrier, you know, that's not the way this is going down, you know. I was like, no, so luckily we have a taqueria right next door, and I'd call in an order, fucking run over there, and they bring it out, man, and
I was eating toast, a bunch of toast.
I was buying a big old caldos.
Yeah, those are good.
And just like, if it takes you 2 days to eat this motherfucker, you just eat it. Just keep eating it. Eat it with some bread. Get some crackers.
Yeah. Thank you, Thousand Oaks, for your fucking soup.
Thank you, San Antonio, for having a taqueria on every fucking corner. That you're saving lives, dude.
For real.
Yeah, so I made sure she
I got tired of Campbell's.
Yeah, I did. No, was buying her the good stuff, and she ate. And what I did, by like day 4 or 5, I would just sit outside in the backyard by the pool watching TV in the sun.
Yeah.
And I would get on that float in the pool and just lay there on top of it, not completely in the water because it felt weird still, like clammy, the cold sweat. But I would lay there and just splash myself with water as I laid there on that float all day till it got dark. I'd stay outside because I'd just come in and check on her, get her something to drink.
The vitamin D's.
And I went and bought vitamin D, vitamin C, grapefruit seed extract. I forgot the zinc, though. I have a multivitamin, though, that has zinc. So
man, multivitamins must be making a killing right now.
Oh, dude, there's the shells, vitamin C. And I got colloidal silver. Vernon was telling me to get this stuff because Vernon worked at Sun Harvest for like 15, 16, 17 years.
Get the hell out of here.
In the vitamin department.
Anybody to work there that long.
Yeah, in the vitamin department.
Yeah. And
he knew everything about vitamins. So right when we both got sick, I was like, okay, what do I take?
Don't you piss out most vitamins? Like your body can't absorb it.
I know I piss real bright yellow when I take them.
Yeah.
But whatever, bro. I know they're going, and I work out. And what I started to do, I started doing push-ups.
Yeah.
Like day 6. I think at day 6, I want to see how my lungs feel.
Yeah.
When I get a little tired. So I did like 2 sets, 4 sets of 50.
Yeah.
And 4 sets of 20. And I was like, okay. And then I started doing dips. And then, okay, I did dips. And then I had the bands. I did some bands. And I felt okay.
I started working. Well, I was working out before it. But now, and I'm only working out, I'm eating
different,
better. And just because I'm like looking at my kids, and to them, they're always like, you're fat. You know what I mean? You're just a fat.
Really? The kids think you're fat?
Yeah, they come up to me and they grab my belly and my titties and they go, ooh.
And your titties. Now,
my
saying
titties.
you have titties on your own is kind of conceding you're tapping out that you're fat.
Yeah. Well, my
But
daughter
I don't
was
really
like,
look at you as the fat dude.
I carry the weight well, but without a shirt, like my
You're the
daughter's
fat
like,
dude?
you
Pudgy?
got boobs. You got boobs. That's what she told me.
Do push-ups, bro.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm doing push-ups, doing all, but it's not just that. It's eating better. You know what I mean? Like we
Do
got
push-ups,
home.
though. Even no matter if you're eating caca, do fucking push-ups, bro. And you're
Yeah.
going to see a change in your body, dude. Just keep doing them. I do.
Push-ups and pull-ups.
I do them 5 times. Oh, no, yeah, pull-ups, too. I do them 5 times a week. I do at least 200 push-ups every day.
It's 1,000 push-ups a week.
Yeah, and then I do other stuff in between with that. But I make sure I try to do at least those 4 sets of 50. And I do sets of 20 in between usually.
Yeah.
So I try to do, but at least 200. And I'm good if I do 200.
Yeah.
And the bands. And I have that 20-pound kettlebell. And I just do a few things. Takes 30 minutes maybe.
I like leaving the house and going to gold.
Why
just
not get it? Because you got kids here and shit. And, and it's kind of a peaceful way to get away without anyone interrupting you.
And people
Because I
stare.
don't have a kid that's going to interrupt me when
Yeah.
I'm working out. I go and Veronica's usually at work, or I get up and I just do my workout, and then I just go take a shower and
but
start my day.
not only that, just like looking at my kids, looking at my son, I don't want him to go through what I went through when I was little and go through that where you gain way too much weight and you're a little fat kid.
By you leaving the house, that's going to stop that?
By me leaving the house with them, like right before the podcast, we went to the park. It's hot as shit. I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know they didn't want to go.
They didn't ask to be born?
Yeah, no, they didn't. And so
No, they didn't. You were going to argue that. Well, they did. One of them did.
Well, one of them said, my son said something really, not crazy, but threw me off when he was 5 years old. And I asked him, what do you think life's about? And he's like, I don't know. It's a mystery. And I'm like, okay, well, why do you think you're here? And he's like, because mom wanted me here. And I was just like, oh, shit,
Not because of dad.
that's a good answer right there. Well, no, both kids were planned by her. And now I've been given the ultimatum of the vasectomy.
The vasectomy and the
Yeah.
ultimatum is that either you have a vasectomy or you have another kid.
No, well, she's not saying like she's saying it like
Or we take the risk of
we
having
take the risk of having another child. But the way she said it was like it's a threat.
It's going to happen, though.
I will make sure to get pregnant. And I'm just like, you're in school. Do you want to fail and throw away all your dreams? I threw that in her face. You know what I mean?
That's a good retaliatory
I think it's a good
comeback, dude.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's about winning arguments, not having.
It is. If you're a right fighter, Josh, it doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
As long as you get that last deadly blow in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to knock her out verbally. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Just
I know.
like, oh fuck, she's gonna be thinking about it 2 weeks from now.
Keep their heads ringing. Boom.
Yeah,
boom,
exactly,
boom. Yeah,
exactly.
That's it, dude. Good rap on this. It's just like when your computer goes down, you get a couple of raps on the side of it and gets it back. And
Yeah.
sometimes they need a reset too.
The whole point of marriage is, I think, to win as many arguments before we die, and then when we die, we
Where are
tally
you
up
at
the
right
argument.
now? You thinking that tally?
I don't know, because
Was she winning or was she
if
losing
we go
before
by
this?
small arguments, she has me by a mile. But if we go by big arguments, like
We'll call those amateur fights.
the amateur fights and stuff. Oh man, she
whooped it in the AMs.
every single time. But you know what it
Now
is?
that y'all
'Cause
stepped into the pros.
I don't have the heart for it. I don't have the heart for the amateur fight. But when it comes to this is how
big heavyweight bout on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view event.
like this is my core. This is what I believe. We're fucking
you trained
going
for these, huh?
Totally. Yeah. I've had these conversations by myself in the mirror for whomever, not just her, but from whoever brings it up. And then she just so happens to bring it up, mostly because I egg it on.
Yeah.
And I want her to
You want her to ask or to you're trying to suck
Yeah.
her into the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So in a way, it's cheating by winning the argument because I already had the argument won in my
You
head.
wrote the book on that argument.
Boom, there you go.
Yeah.
But she falls for it.
Come from the school of Anthony Torino's.
Damn.
That's
Fuck with your
y'all are the
spouse's
same.
head.
You and him are like right there, dude. Like,
Hell no.
oh no! Shout out to Anthony. Whatever incarceration facility you might be in right now, we're passing through. But yeah, I mean, dude, I it's crazy because I don't really argue with Veronica a lot.
Yeah.
We're not an arguing couple. My ex-wife, dude, we were married for 10,000 years, I think, dude, and. Dude, we could argue like one word. She could just throw it out there. It was like fucking Sesame Street. Today's word's gonna be wah, wah.
Did you guys
and
have already animosity towards each other before?
I hated her.
Yeah.
She hated me. Yeah, like when I went to prison and she left me right away, I was at the fucking
Bye.
at the window waving, like, you know, I knew. I mean, if I had stayed out, she went to jail. Like, yeah, we were done. So like, people were like, "You mad at her?" No, I'm not mad at her. That's just
Because you would have done the same thing.
yeah, we would have done. We were young and stupid, and we couldn't get along back then. Anyway, we had kids way too early. You know, I was with her when we were both in high school.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid, you know. She didn't graduate because of getting pregnant, you know, like her senior year and all that shit, or whatever. Her junior year, I think it was. You know, and
I think that's the worst. That's the worst.
That year, junior year?
No. Junior year actually got better for me. But no, that's the worst hell to be in a horrible relationship to where I don't want to go home. I don't want to talk to the person. I don't want to look at them. And especially if you're sharing bills, you have kids together, that's got to be the ultimate hell.
Yeah, dude, there's dudes like, it's weird. I guess your 40s. If people who are with their high school sweethearts around their 40s is when they're done. They've done it for their kids. They had kids
but they've
young.
been done for a while.
Yeah, but they waited till the kids grew up and moved out and all that shit. The kids are in their early 20s, mid 20s, and they hated each other.
Now that's Generation X does that. Millennials are like, you had a baby, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Oh, really? Millennials just bail?
Well, yeah. Millennials
because they can't even take care of themselves.
Exactly.
But no, back then you were supposed to do the right thing. Because you know what happened when I got my girlfriend? Because she was my girlfriend first. When I got her
pregnant. But if you're doing coke and fucking strippers, are you doing the right thing? You're just not telling her.
I didn't do coke.
I'm not saying you did.
I know, but she might have been doing that.
Yeah.
But when I got her pregnant, when my parents found out, when they found out the day the baby was born that I was having a baby. Yeah. Yeah. They went, "What? You're having a baby?" I was like, they were like, "When?"
How old are you? Like 19?
I was 20. Yeah, because my son's 20 years. He's 32. I'm 52. I was 20, and first thing he was like, "You have to join the military. You have to marry her and join the military and do the right thing. They'll take care of all the medical and that was my dad was like,
yeah. And
I get it. He was calling different recruiters. I had the Air Force, the Marine, the Navy, the Army, all
your dad was like, "I'm not fucking with this."
No, not that he wasn't fucking with it. He was just, you're going to be a man and do the right thing. He didn't think he had to fuck with it. He thought, no, you're going to take care of this kid. Now that you had a kid, that's what men do. They step up, and that's what he wasn't like. It wasn't his problem.
Yeah.
But I was his son, and I was his problem. The grandkid, I don't think he was thinking that, we're going to have to take care of a grandkid at all. But he just I just had these fucking recruiters coming over, and I ended up joining the Navy. I was going to SAC at the time, kind of fucking off. Yeah. Doing stupid shit, skipping more classes and going to them. That's for fucking sure.
As most people do at SAC.
Yeah. Dude. And so anyway, I joined the Navy and went off to the Navy, and that's.
So you think having your son, well, of course, having your son completely changed the trajectory of your life. Oh, definitely. But as far as like, helped you straighten up, and it's like,
no, I mean it did. I joined the Navy.
Well, you did rob a jewelry store
but
after.
When I got out, when I got out, and the money I'd saved up from the military and stuff, I thought, you're delusional at that I'll just come out. I've been in the Navy. I'll get a job just like that real quick.
Or a Camaro.
Or a Camaro too, or a bunch of girlfriends at a strip club. Okay, so those decisions
Camaro
to be made.
and a coke addiction. I think those are the two
and a bunch of girlfriends at the strip club. So and I was thinking I'm not working a steady job because I'm not really finding anything that I think I'm gonna like. Yeah. So they're jobs, they're not careers that I'm getting here and going, fucking.
Is that when you're selling insurance?
No. I didn't do no. That was until I got out of prison, and so just kind of fucking off, and then the money started running out, dude, and then that's when my old homeboys started coming around again, going, "Hey man, they're showing out all these brand new cars and motorcycles and shit, and they're like, if you're down, you could use another person." And I was like, "What are y'all doing?" And they were just like, "Well, we don't want to tell you unless you're in, because it's big time stuff." And I was like, "Then I don't want to know." And I kept, holding out, and then I'd see them a week later, and they had new Rolexes and do this and whatever money. Let's go eat, and they're my boys, Yeah. And I'm like, "Dude, what if?" I got to know, what the fuck are you doing, dude? And then he said, "Bro, we're robbing jewelry stores, dude." And I was like, "Y'all crazy, dude."
Did you assume it's drugs?
Yeah, everyone thought that. I definitely know that everyone thought Freddie was a drug dealer. I don't know what they thought of Mark, but everyone thought Freddie was just selling drugs because he had nice shit for too long. Yeah. And he was wearing, you'd see him, this Rolex and always had the newest polos. and Gerbos back then. And
did you know any like anybody who's like, I'm gonna stack up $500,000 and then I'm done. And they didn't show off. They didn't have watches. They didn't have new shit, new cars. They just stayed, low key the whole time, and then we're done.
Well, and not that I know dudes that did stacked up a grip.
Yeah,
were real low key, stacked up a grip, but they didn't set that number of like I'm gonna get to 500,000 stuff, because when they get to 500,000, like, well, just make it a cool million,
Yeah,
and I know, dude, that had, probably over $1 million like that, and he was real low key, and had never been locked up and all that. I'm talking 20 years deep in the game, but they, I guess where he fucked up was they met a new connect from somewhere out of state that was moving big things, and they got caught up in this whole interstate fucking ring where they were bringing it from that other state over here, or it was either.
No, that's federal now.
Yeah, once you cross those state lines, it was federal, and the amount that they had was federal too.
Yeah.
And they had said that they had moved I think they said 200 kilos in a 2-year period of some profit of $10 million they were putting on, over 10 million, and all this shit. They attached all this shit to him, and he got locked up, and I think he's out now. And as far as I know he paid his lawyer almost $250,000.
Yeah,
and so he had that money put up, and that was just a lawyer, so he had to have other money. Who knows? It sucks that when you get popped like that, out of all that nice shit you have, you'll give it all away just to be a homeless dude on the street, just and
everything
no charge.
You worked for,
huh?
Your retirement, everything you worked for.
Yeah, you just take all of it and just leave me free.
If you already have that mentality of I need fast money, because that's what it is. It's fast money. I don't think that's the same person as, I need to save and then maybe I'll invest a little bit in the stock market. That's not the same personality.
It's weird, because I don't like to say too much, but I know a lot of people who've done that, and I know some that invest their money too.
Like washed it, you mean?
I guess that you would consider washing it, but they're not. They're getting that money that they're using, that they're making from their illegal shit that they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do good, totally legit things, but they're not saying, hey, I'm washing my money. But I guess in the same, if the government looked at it.
That's really, if you're dirt poor, that's really the only way that you're going to get stupid, wealthy, rich. Unless you're super athletic or super talented. Look at the, what's his name that became president? The Kennedys. His father was a bootlegger.
Yeah.
And then.
Jack Kennedy.
Exactly. And then saved up. And he just didn't get caught. That's what it was. Yeah, Don't get caught.
Yeah, and that's why that's why they whacked him later. You know that, right?
See, I've heard a bunch of. I've heard it's the military-industrial complex that killed him. It's the mafia that killed him.
Well, because he worked with the mob bootlegging liquor, right?
His father was doing that.
Okay, and then they made all that money during Prohibition to make to get big and become millionaires. The Kennedy fucking well then, and they had their ties to the mob. The mob helped them when they were running all that liquor and all that. So now. He says, hey, I got a son and 2 sons that are in politics. One's going to be the attorney general, and the other one's going to be president of the United States if y'all help me. So the mob got in and
helping him get elected.
Got him elected because
they
were
supposed.
Now they were going to have 2 people in Hoffa, and they had people on the inside. Now, big time president and attorney general that were going to be on the mob side, and then they went, and then Bobby Kennedy went right after the mob. Mm-hmm. And said, I'm going to crack down on fucking organized crime, and went after him. They were like, oh, what's up with your kids, bro? And
now, do you think that was the kid that he didn't know and wants to make a name for himself? Or he's like, nah, fuck that. We got here, and now we got to cut all ties if we, some ruthless shit.
I think that's more what it was. When they got there, he was like, we can't be associated with these fucking
So we got to take them all out.
Yep, we got to lock them up. Fuck that. Well, these aren't our homeboys. And they said, oh, yeah, you don't know who you're playing with. Y'all...
Yeah, we don't care if you're president or. I mean, that's crazy to think that within a year, both of them
and then there's
assassinated.
There's that, but they had to be in cahoots with the government because also when the Bay of Pigs happened, and they thought Kennedy was going to be so involved in the Bay of Pigs that we were gonna have to go to war and send troops to Cuba, boots down, and. When that happened, and he said, nah, we don't want to war, and he pulled everyone back, and they said, oh, shit, we thought All the people that wanted to go to war, they said, this dude really isn't going to go to war.
Yeah.
So they wanted Johnson in there. So next thing you know, Kennedy's getting assassinated. What happens? They pull him out. Johnson gets in. We go to Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of...
Have you when you know who his brother Robert found out through? LBJ. LBJ called him before he even knew this brother was assassinated. It was just like, I need to know everything that you and your brother were discussing. And it's like, what are you talking about? Tells me he's killed, and that LBJ was super cold about it. Like, he's dead. What are you gonna do about it? And that he was the most king-like president as well. You know, like he would make
dictator.
Yeah, he would make some of the not, I don't know what you'd call them, but people who worked at the staff, like, wash his feet.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
That dude was good.
Yeah,
good guy. But good fucking guy. Yeah, LBJ is a piece of shit, dude. That's the skate park that I ate shit in. At LBJ skate park, dude. They got
Went
me.
to Texas State. Hey,
dude, that piece of shit. That's where he fucking got me, dude. I knew that dude was crazy.
You were like, what, 1 and 2 years old when JFK was assassinated?
Yeah, I think they killed him in 1969.
Oh, that'd have been crazy to, like, fucking if you're like 10 years old to witness, because they show it just like 9/11, how they show the bill. They show people saw JFK get killed, and then like a decade later, your president then resigns. Like, how do you feel? Like, is like the country over? What the fuck are we doing?
But I remember, like, not understanding politics. I thought everyone had their own president. I thought, like, that's my president, because people were saying that's not my president. I guess I heard that, and I was like, hey, that's.
Oh, people have been saying that forever, huh?
Yeah,
that's not my president.
I guess I didn't know. I was a little kid, and I thought, and I always wondered why my parents would never tell anyone who they voted for. You don't tell people who you voted for.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, I don't care if they know who I voted for. Now I see why. You know, motherfuckers are stupid. That's why. But I remember, like, the real president that I really remember. I remember Nixon getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember Nixon in trouble, and I remember Reagan getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember us all out at rec, and they pulled us all and sat us all down, and they said the president's been shot. And I was like, did someone here do it? Like, what the fuck? You know,
who did it?
It was one of my homeboys. You better not snitch on me. Did I do it? So, yeah, I remember that. But then that's when I started realizing, okay, politics, you know.
That one was crazy, too, because it was 45 days into Reagan's presidency.
He got shot.
And George Bush, who was the vice president, wanted to be the president. And they're like, no, we're going with Reagan. The Republican Party decided. And then Hinckley, who grew up with Jeb Bush.
Hinckley's the one that shot him.
Hinckley's the one that shot Reagan.
He just got out, didn't he?
I have no idea. But he was childhood friends with Jeb Bush. And
really? Hinckley and Jeb Bush were childhood friends?
And he's the one that shot him.
Wow. I didn't know. I never heard that angle about him being childhood friends. You know, I
saw it on YouTube. So
I read this book called On the Trail of the Assassins about the Warren Commission's findings on the Kennedy assassination. And like Oswald, did you know like that dude was like had crazy like CIA ties? You know,
I heard something.
The government had paid for him to go to Russia and find a wife and come back. The United States paid for it, and then like wherever he worked, like prior to this shooting, everyone that knew him and worked with him closely ended up dead in some mysterious way. Like it's like if you want to have a conspiracy theory, like you follow Oswald's trail and it's wild, dude. It's fucking wild. Like you're like, there has to be something there.
Well, I know they a lot of people say that he was brainwashed, not MK Ultra brainwashed, but like through the ideology when they sent him over there.
And then you know what's weird is that dude was Jack Rudy, the one that showed up and killed him. Like he was like this a mob tough guy. Like he didn't talk like that. This dude was a robot, dude. Like he just went into a crowded fucking terminal in front of everyone and walks up to him, shoots him, and never says anything about it, dude. You know, just
did that guy get the death penalty?
I don't know I'm not sure exactly what happened to that dirty, but he's like the tail end of the story. You know,
dirty.
Yeah, that dirty.
I was looking
crazy.
it up,
like,
and
you know, dirty do something. You're like, yeah, Jack Rudy, bro, he'll shoot anybody, bro, anywhere.
I don't know any of these websites at all. Who, what, why.org, Philadelphia, what's it called? CBS Local, George H.W. Bush.
While we're looking at this, we'd like to let you know that this podcast is brought to you partially by Brother Earl's Beef Jerky.
Yeah.
The baddest, greatest beef jerky in all of Texas and surrounding areas where beef jerky is good. But this beef jerky is really good, people. I don't know. Did you want to open that bag?
Yeah. Author Roger Stone's latest conspiracy theory: George H. Bush behind Reagan assassination attempt.
Dude, the bushes are fucking looking rough.
Let me see. I don't want to read
did the Miss Bush die?
Did Miss Bush die? I don't know. Barbara Bush.
Did she? You know what though, man?
Here we go. I think it's more than This is I guess this is Roger Stone saying that. Who's Roger Stone? That sounds familiar.
Did he smoke weed?